Across the corridors of history, the Sigma male moves like a ghost in daylight, unseen yet always present. He is the silent architect, the man whose solitude births civilizations. Where the alpha builds through force and domination, the Sigma restores through intellect, intuition, and vision. He appears in ages of decay, when nations crumble and hierarchies rot from within. The Sigma doesn't crave the crown, he reforges it only to cast it aside. In Greek myth, the pattern reveals itself. In Homer's Iliad, Achilles is the alpha, pure fire, heroic instinct, and lust for glory. But Odysseus of the Odyssey is the eternal Sigma, the cunning man who wanted to live in peace, but was pulled into war. Dragged from solitude, he fought not with brute strength, but with mind and craft. The Trojan horse, his creation, did what Achilles' fury could not. It ended the war through intellect. And yet Odysseus' true struggle began afterward. 10 years alone on the seas, enduring temptation, loss, and exile, all for the right to return home and reclaim his kingdom. He triumphed not by domination, but by understanding human nature itself. So too with the first lawgivers of Greece, Solon of Athens and Lycurgus of Sparta. Both men emerged in times of chaos, crafted order out of disarray, and then vanished once stability was restored. They didn't cling to adulation, but found their reward in satisfied solitude. The alpha leads by commanding others. The Sigma leads by stepping away once the world can stand on its own. Throughout history, the Sigma's influence flickers like a hidden flame, rare, elusive, and often misunderstood. He's not the dominant male of his time, but the defining spirit of the age that follows. In societies ruled by rigid masculine hierarchies, the Sigma is an anomaly, too independent to submit, too visionary to belong. His life often borders on tragedy, for he sacrifices comfort for freedom and power for authenticity. When patriarchal orders thrive, the Sigma must walk the wilderness alone. But when those orders collapse, he returns, bringing renewal. The modern world, a feminized world of consensus and comfort, has made the Sigma male more visible. Our era prizes safety, routine, and emotional conformity. The Sigma despises all three. He thrives where others falter, seeing clearly through the illusions of mass culture. To him, obedience is decay and solitude is strength. In a society that exalts equality over excellence, the Sigma reclaims the sacred right to difference. He is not the product of this world, he is its counterforce. Today, as the old hierarchies disintegrate, the Sigma walks freely among us again, a lone wolf in a collapsing herd. Let's look at 3 men who embodied this hidden power, 3 Sigmas who entered the storm of history, shaped it, and walked away unchanged. In the last days of the Roman Republic, the world seemed ruled by alphas. Caesar, Pompey, and later Augustus, men of command, charisma, and conquest. Yet it is Cicero, the quiet outsider, who still defines how we remember the fall of the Roman Republic. Born without noble blood, armed only with intellect and eloquence, Cicero rose from obscurity into the most dangerous arena on earth, Roman politics. He was neither general nor aristocrat. He was something rarer, a man of mind in an age of muscle. When Rome was threatened by the conspiracy of Catiline, a true gamma driven by envy and resentment, Cicero stood firm. He exposed the plot and saved Rome from collapse. Yet his bluntness also made him enemies. He foresaw Caesar's coming power and feared it, but refused to join the assassins who would later strike him down. It was the bravo Mark Antony who hunted him, the loyal enforcer, a man of passion and revenge. Cicero's death was brutal, but his words survived, echoing through the centuries. The Caesars of Rome are gone, but Cicero's sentences remain. He was a philosopher-king of the mind, a Sigma who shaped political thought for millennia, not through empire, but through reason. He showed that intellect, guided by masculine virtue, could outlast the alpha's sword. Frederick II, the great Holy Roman Emperor, was born to command. The son of the Alpha Emperor Henry VI and the Alpha Mother Constance of Sicily, he seemed destined to continue their rule of might and lineage. But from an early age, Frederick rejected the mold. He would not merely be a conqueror, he would be a creator. He studied philosophy, law, astronomy, and poetry. He spoke 6 languages, surrounded himself with scholars and foreign intellects. He turned his court in Palermo into a laboratory of civilization. Frederick's reign was a constant rebellion against the powers of his time. He clashed with the papacy until the Pope called him the Antichrist, the ultimate heresy for a Christian king. Yet Frederick was unmoved. He reformed his realm along rational lines, establishing laws, schools, and systems centuries ahead of his time. He led the Sixth Crusade not through bloodshed, but through diplomacy, winning Jerusalem by negotiation, the last triumph of Christendom in the Levant. He embodied the Sigma paradox, the ruler who sought peace through intellect, not domination. The alphas of his age, the popes, the generals, the nobles, hated him for his freedom. But history remembers him as stupor mundi, the wonder of the world. He was a kaleidoscope of contradictions, scientist, poet, warrior, and lover, a king whose crown was inseparable from his mind. In the 20th century, the American political order was ruled by giants, alpha rulers in a new imperial age. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the patrician alpha, commanded with charisma and confidence. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the military alpha, ruled through order and prestige. Between them stood Harry Truman, unassuming, plain-spoken, and utterly alone, the Sigma in the age of alphas. Truman was no aristocrat, no scholar, and no general. He was a failed haberdasher who rose through grit and instinct. When FDR died, the elites saw him as a placeholder, a quiet man to manage the transition. Instead, Truman proved to be one of the most decisive leaders in American history. He ended World War II by authorizing the use of the atomic bomb to force Japan's surrender. He defined post-war strategy with the Truman Doctrine, establishing the global balance of the Cold War. In the election of 1948, Truman shocked the country by defeating the younger alpha Thomas Dewey. When the Korean War erupted, he made the painful decision to fire the popular alpha general Douglas MacArthur, proving that principle outweighed prestige. Truman's presidency began under the shadow of FDR and ended before the dominance of Eisenhower. Sandwiched between two alphas, yet unbent by either. He governed not through image but integrity. When he left office, he was extremely unpopular, yet time revealed him as the quiet architect of American strength. Truman's Sigma power lay in restraint, clarity, and the courage to be ruggedly ordinary in an age of idols. The alpha conquers and the Sigma corrects. The alpha achieves glory and the Sigma achieves resonance. He arrives when the world grows decadent, when the strong have grown soft. He restores the law of strength and vision, then vanishes once his work is done. From Odysseus to Cicero, from Frederick to Truman, the Sigma is the eternal outsider whose independence renews the world. He stands apart from the hierarchy, yet defines it from above. He is the conscience of civilization, the spirit that says enough when empires lose their soul. But not all Sigmas come to save. Some don't restore the world, they break it. Some don't return with order, they return with fire. In every age of collapse, when decay spreads too deep and the world refuses to heal, the dark Sigma rises, the one who embraces exile so completely that he becomes judgment itself. And in the next video, we will follow him, the Sigma who does not rebuild, but ends. Hit subscribe to continue the journey through the hierarchy.